Accura Series. Bergara barrels for guaranteed accuracy. Nitride for guaranteed rust proofing. And a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CBA, it's just a better gun.
All right, this segment's being sponsored by our friends over at Soul Shine Pizza. They're at 4021 Hughes Crossing at Suite 101 over in Franklin, Tennessee. Y'all can give my buddy Steve Brandon a call, 615-379-7767. They can take care of your catering needs. They've got lunch specials Monday through Friday. Be sure to get in there, do a little bit of talking with Steve about hunting and fishing, and enjoy some great food while you're in there. All right, we're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines for you. If you guys would like to call in, y'all can do that now. 615-737-7767. And JR, there's some big catfish coming in that tournament, buddy.
There sure is, and that tournament is a well-deserved tournament. It takes roughly $6,000 to $7,000 to put on an event for Hope Outdoors. After the tournament, we had an auction, and all of those proceeds. Everything that is generated goes to Hope Outdoors. I think we raised somewhere around $7,000, which was enough to put on an event.
Yeah.
You know, we got another one coming up August the 13th. If anybody would like to come join, the only thing they got to do is get a hold of you or get a hold of me.
That's right. We'll get all the information they need
and get them going. But I have been an advocate for years and years and years. Everybody says that the Mississippi River got the biggest catfish. Well, they probably got the most catfish, but I'm not so blame sure that they've got the biggest.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, we get some 70s and 80s caught out of there as well.
Yeah, right.
Just maybe not the numbers that get caught out of the Mississippi, but we've got just as good a fishery there as there are anywhere in the United States.
Y'all have a great fishery and put some good ones in the boat.
Yeah.
Got a couple of calls coming in here. Let's go ahead and grab one. Rick, how are you doing tonight?
How you doing tonight?
Doing good. We appreciate you calling.
Yeah, I experienced some of that bow fishing down in Louisiana on them redfish. That's a great thing to do on any kind of fish.
Yeah.
But I really want to bring up something that's a public announcement that Smyrna's dumping raw sewage in the Stewart's Creek on Percy Priest Lake, and why has that not been recognized, even by you guys, but also by the authorities? There's one sign at one boat ramp, and it's a hazard. And why has not anybody brought that to the attention of the public?
Well,
the little sign is 6 inches by 10 inches at one boat ramp, and it's not even on the fishing docks at Stewart's Creek, and it's people matter floating in the water. So what's your
You're
response
exactly
to that?
right. We actually were talking about that on the way down here tonight.
On the way tonight.
And it would have gotten brought up, but it is at Stewart's Creek is what Rick's talking about here. A sign that was recently posted, and they're talking about very high levels of fecal matter in the water.
That's right, straight sewage.
Among other things, and it's not just Stewart. That's the thing, is this water don't just sit still in Stewart Creek.
Right.
You know, it's something that should be addressed as quickly as possible.
They held the lake when that sign was posted. They actually held the lake.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, I don't
And
know.
also, there's one sign in English. There's Hispanic people there. There's Asian. It is not properly posted, not even at other boat ramps, to even tell the tournament guys. They're racing up in there. All it takes is one prick of a hook or a fish fin, and who knows what you got. E. coli, listeria, everything. It's sewage.
Yeah.
It needs to be properly announced, and that Stewart's Creek needs to be shut down with buoys and no boating going into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you 100%, but you would be
And
surprised.
that's a failure with the wildlife and fisheries. It's a failure with Smyrna Health Department, the Rutherford County Health Department, the Tennessee Health Department. They're all liable for this.
And that's just the ones that you know of that's happened.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the ones
That's
they've
right.
told you.
And I fished that Stewart's Creek for 35 years. It's the first time it's been posted, and it's a disgrace. It's gross, just, gross negligence on Smyrna City sewage disposal.
It is, and we actually have a show this coming week that we're going to be airing next week. You were just speaking about you fishing Stewart Creek. we're going to have a show where we're fishing in Stewart Creek back before all this was posted.
Yeah, before it was posted.
And,
And
so,
the guides
you know,
are still going up in there. I was in there at 5 o'clock today. You got the guides. They got they're taking people up in Stewart Creek fishing.
Right.
And that's wrong. So this needs to get out there.
So-
and I hope everybody's listening right now.
They are.
Because it really has disgusted me. The sign's been up for 3 weeks. And it hasn't even been brought to anybody's attention.
Right.
And you got people wading in there, swimming. I've seen dogs swimming at the boat ramp. And that one little sign, that whoever put it up there, is not sufficient for that kind of hazard.
yeah.
Thank you for letting me speak my mind, because it has really disturbed me this last week.
Sure,
And,
sure.
and I have made phone calls today,
Good.
and I'm not done with it.
Right, right.
Well, thank you for calling. We do appreciate you opening that up for us tonight, and we're right behind you there 100%.
So here's how this goes. When we get these big rains like we just got, and we come across a dam, and they got the floodgates open, you don't see it from just strictly sitting on the bank as far as the current that's getting pulled out of that creek right now, this minute.
Right, we came over the dam on the way here. It
Where
was
that
wide open.
sign was 3 weeks ago in the raw sewage, there's going to be about a 50% chance that that sewage level has dropped dramatically.
Yeah.
Because they have absolutely pulled all that out. The rainwater's pushed it out. But I'm still with the guy that called in.
I am too.
Somebody should have said, done, or something.
There's got to be something done about it, and it's not just priests. That's what we're talking about tonight. But it's a lot of different waterways.
And there's other ways that our bodies of lakes are getting polluted, and it's every single lake we have with houseboats on it. Don't think that every one of them boats are getting pumped out at a pumping station.
Right.
If you don't think people ain't cruising up and down our lakes, dumping that raw sewage in there, you are badly mistaken.
Yeah.
Going back to Stewart's Creek, what does it feed into?
Cumberland River.
Okay.
Stones River.
Stones River,
All the way
it's
down.
one of our areas. JR's from West Tennessee, but it's one of our areas here in Middle Tennessee on Percy Priest Lake. And to make matters worse, it's one of the most popular fishing areas, especially for crappie and things
And
like
bank
that.
fishermen. They put
And
all
bank
that
fishermen.
new bank access in.
At this point in time, 3 weeks ago, when it was contaminated, it's contaminated down to the Cumberland. It's
That's right.
contaminated on down the river.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's right.
once a body of water is
Yeah.
contaminated and you have a current, and then it flows downhill.
That's
And
right. I will
not
say
being
this,
funny, but
Right.
You know, we would have to look into, you know, who's responsible 100%. The Corps of Engineers is typically in charge of your lakes. I will say Wildlife Resources, they are simply there to uphold laws and things
That's
like
right.
that on the lake. They don't really have anything to
That's
do with this end up. Now, they could probably prosecute, should
Right.
they, you know, something like that, but probably going to fall into the Corps of Engineers office among other
Right.
offices.
Well, I'll give you an example. I talked about some trash on Weekly Lane one time. Corps of Engineers didn't want to pick it up. City didn't want to pick it up. TWA didn't really want to pick it up because they don't have the manpower.
Right.
So that's just more trash, and it's the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's negligence. If you go look right now, it's everywhere. Our bodies of water are just getting completely trashed, polluted, but nobody cares.
Yeah, it does seem to be kind of put by the wayside, and that's why, again, I'm glad that Rick called tonight.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the way here, and kind of, well, you know, how we're going to bring it up and
We've
get
been
going, and
talking
that
about it,
opened the door wide open. But
Yeah.
And it was, like he said, it's been about 3 weeks posted now at the lake. I didn't really see much about it until just the last few days. You know, it's very slow, this information getting out there.
Because they don't want it out there.
That's right. And so we need to get behind it. We'll try to find out more information. I promise you we'll do what we can to find out who can be contacted at least and what needs to be done to move in the right direction with it. Because,
Absolutely.
again, next week, literally a show where we're fishing in the same spot. I mean, this is an area that a lot of outdoorsmen here in the local area use to go in and fish for crappie, bass, multiple things. But
Well,
it
your
needs to
military
be
base
addressed.
is right through the middle of
Yeah.
it. It runs right through a military base.
Yeah.
So,
And you mentioned all the bank fishing efforts that have been put in place over there as well.
Right.
The Bass Nation, Jake Davis and all the kids, they've done all
that
kinds
new
of work
dock.
over there.
I mean, the new dock's in, and I mean,
So, but anyhow, thank you for the call. Absolutely, we'll see what we can find out about that as we move forward. And what about you guys, JR? Do y'all have much issues with your just the same issues as we do over in West Tennessee with the trash on the lakes and the pollution and things?
we just had, you know, the Bassmasters Elite was down there this past week, and some of the activities that Pickwick and Hardin County did was they had a cleanup, and they went around on the shore banks and picked up trash and whatnot, and then some of it even extended over below the dam onto the riverside. And yeah, I mean, I've had you up there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just totally disgusting in the eddied water, where all of the people ride down the river and they throw out a can, throw out a wrapper, throw out a sack, and if you take every boat that's utilizing that part of the river and they throw something in the water, it accumulates.
Yeah, you add it up by a year.
And then you add up everybody in town throwing a water bottle out in the middle of the road or in the ditch lines where the water goes all the way
runs it
drainage
down
and takes it all the way.
It takes it away.
Be surprised how far a water bottle will travel.
Yeah, we have a big issue down there. It's disgusting. There's been times. What is more disgusting is the haphazardness that the fishermen leave laying around. Their dead fish carcasses, their bait,
Worm containers,
and all of that kind. I mean, come on, guys. That's gonna clean up our industry.
And,
unless
a
we
lot
do it
of it
ourselves.
is, and we'll mention this, it's not always, and we've said it before, it's not just some guy necessarily driving down the lake throws his worm bucket out. A lot of times it's us not paying enough attention to what's up on the deck of our boat before we take off across the water, or a loose package down in the bottom of the boat before we take off and get on plane. So that happens a lot too. Same in your truck.
You're right.
Yeah, it is. Well, guys, we're going to get ready to take another quick break, and we'll be right back with some more Southern Woods and Waters.